Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to be unboxing our ButcherBox order, talking about how we like it after 6 months of use and doing an actual cost comparison. So for those of you who don't know what ButcherBox is, it is a meat delivery service. And I asked y'all in our last Azure haul if y'all wanted, we don't typically, we unboxed one when we first got it, and we don't typically do a lot of unboxings for it, but we still use it every month. And so I asked in our last Azure order if you'd be interested, and y'all said yes. So here we are talking about the value and unboxing it. We have been paying for ButcherBox and ordering it for 6 months now. Actually, I think 7. And the first thing I'll say is ButcherBox is absolutely not for everyone, okay? So ButcherBox is really for the person that is looking for grass-fed beef, free-range poultry, wild-caught seafood, because you can absolutely go to Walmart and get the cheapest thing off the shelf way cheaper. However, we, over the past year, have been really convicted to start watching our health and being more mindful of the things that go into our bodies and spending less money on junk food and spending more money on quality ingredients. And so we have been on this journey of focusing on good whole foods. One of the most convicting things I came across was a book called What Your Food Ate, and I will link that down below. And it talks about the soil and life in the soil and healthy growing practices, but it also talks about growing food, as in meat food, and how the composition of your food changes depending on what your food eats. And in the book, she talked a lot about the science behind the different ways of feeding out your animals. And one of the things she talked a lot about was grass-fed versus grain-finished and things like that, and the ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s. And it's really fascinating. If you are a science nerd, you will love it. It's a hefty book to get through. I listened to it on audiobook, but it's really fascinating information. And I've read several similar things, but that is by far the best one, with some really meaty science in there and some really great things. So that's really, like I said, we've been really convicted and convinced that we need to start cleaning up the way we eat and really focusing on the foods that will support our health. So that's first, before we even open these boxes. If that's not a concern of yours and you just want the absolute cheapest food, this isn't it. But if you're looking for good, healthy, wholesome food that will nourish your body, I think this is a really good option, especially for those of you who live in rural areas that do not have a lot of choices. That is us. So typically I spend around $300 a month on ButcherBox, and we supplement that with some deer meat and some eggs, and that's our food for the month. So what I want to do is I'm going to open these butcher boxes. I'm going to pull out things, tell you how much they cost us, and then give you the price comparison to what I feel like is probably the closest quality-wise Whole Foods, which we don't have anywhere near. If we went to a Whole Foods, it would be 2 hours away, so that's a whole level of expense. But for those of you who live near a Whole Foods, this is a good comparison. And I know, I think Costco has started carrying some really good meat and things like that, but we just don't have anything like that near. But I will say, if you have the option of buying like a side of beef and you have the freezer space or things like that, a lot of times you can get those more economical. However, if you don't have the freezer space to have a whole cow, this is a fantastic option. Now, one more thing about how ButcherBox works. It's absolutely not cost effective to just sign up for their subscription and ignore what's in your box and move on. It is not. The most cost effective way to do ButcherBox is to sign up for their smallest subscription, which is $169 a month. By the way, you can pause it whenever. You don't have to get it every month. And then add their deals on top of that, because the deals are really where their savings is. So with $169 a month, you get your choice of 6 cuts of meat. And what I do is I divide that out, and it ends up being a little over $28 for each unit, for each cut of meat. And I go on their website and I look, and I will only, with those 6 choices, add something if it is $28 or more. And I do that because I want to really make the most of those credits. And then after that, I will go on to their deals page and I will only buy things that are on sale. Now, the cool thing about ButcherBox that's really great, but you have to be attentive, is that every few days they put up new deals on their deals page. And if you add a deal to your cart, it will stay that price in your cart, even if the price on the website goes up. So if you snag a deal while it's on sale and you get it into your cart, then you can check out. And what I will do is I'll go throughout the month, and if something looks like a great deal, I will add it to my cart, and then at the end of the month, I can decide if I need to remove some things for budget reasons. So these prices are going to be like, a lot of them are going to be the $28 price, right? That are the things that we bought with our credits, but a lot of the prices are the deals. And so you're looking at a sale price basically, which you could go to Whole Foods, you could go to some of these stores and buy the sale price. However, the odds of you getting everything on sale and being there all the time when there's sales drastically diminish. Whereas throughout the month, as long as I add it to the cart, I get that sale price at the end of the month. So I've seen a lot of reviews where people have done price comparisons to ButcherBox, but they don't ever take that into account. They will do a lot of just getting the base box and not picking what's in it and then price comparison. And if you do that, the other people are gonna win every single time. So this is how we do ButcherBox. Let's get to unboxing and let's see what we have and how much it costs. We live in Oklahoma and it has been summer, and the summers here are hot. And I have to say, we have never, ever, ever had a ButcherBox get yucky outside. We've had several, we've tried a few meal delivery services, and we've always had problems, because we live in a rural area, getting the meal delivery service before the things go bad. And then if we do get it, if it sits outside at any length of time, then it's, yucky and ruined. However, ButcherBox has packed things so well, we've not had that problem, and everything has been really well kept. So let's see what's in this first one. Okay, we have a grass-fed boneless chuck roast. Now I have my list because I wrote down these price comparisons. This chuck roast was $19.80 on the ButcherBox website. If I were to go get this grass-fed roast at Whole Foods, it would be $24.73. The other thing I really like about ButcherBox is we get to experiment with different cuts, especially the way we do it when we buy things on sale. I'm not necessarily saying I want this many of this and this many of this. I'm saying, oh, that's on sale, that's a good deal, let's figure out how to use it. And so it's really kind of forced us out of our status quo and caused us to really learn how to cook new things. And they've got some fantastic recipes and video tutorials. This is one that my daughter loves to cook. She has been doing chicken wings in the air fryer. So this is 3 pounds of free-range chicken wings for $10.50. Now, if I bought these at Whole Foods, they would be $20.97. So again, a pretty substantial cost savings here. And I did get 4 of these chicken wings because we eat them a lot. These are boneless pork chops, and these boneless pork chops, there's 4 in there, and they're $10.50. And if I got them from Whole Foods, they would be $13.98. That's fairly close. You probably could find a sale that would be comparable if you were shopping Whole Foods really well. And I have another, I duplicated that. I got 2 sets of those. These are grass-fed beef strip loin steaks. So these are the New York strips. Now this is the one thing that was a little bit cheaper at Whole Foods. So here, this was $28.17 because this is what I used our credit on. However, from Whole Foods, it would have been $27.48. But I think you're gonna see that that difference is negligible when you look at everything as a whole. And this is another one of those, so. All right, let's see what's in here. These are grass-fed ribeyes, and again, this is one of my more expensive cuts. This was $28.17 because I used my credit on them. At Whole Foods, it would have been $28.73. So essentially the same price for these steaks. And I got 2 sets of these with our credits. Then they had a bundle special. They had the Applewood smoked uncured bacon, which if you've done Whole30 or anything like that, they recommend the uncured bacon. So we like the uncured bacon. Also, they have 2 pounds worth of hamburger patties. If I got these 2 items at Whole Foods, it was going to be $25.27 because it was $5.29 for the bacon and $8.49 a pound for the burgers. So multiply that by 2. But they came as a bundle special one day and I got them for $13. So quite a substantial savings there. Here is another thing that I spent my credits on. These are filet steaks. So really I spent all of our credits on steak. 2 sets of strips, 2 sets of ribeyes, 2 sets of fillets. And these fillets were $28.17 because I used our credits, but they would have been $31.19. These were my free thing. When you sign up for ButcherBox, they have different deals going on throughout the year. We got free grass-fed beef tips for the year. And so this was our free thing. So this was $0 from ButcherBox. And this would have been about $10.99 from Whole Foods. We have 3 pounds of free-range chicken tenders. These cost me $22.40. And they cost at Whole Foods $23.97. We have an organic free-range whole chicken that's about 4 pounds. And this cost us $11.90, but if I were to get it at Whole Foods, it would have been $17.96. Here's another chicken, and this was another good deal. This was a 3.5 pound free-range chicken, and this was $9.90, but it was $13.97 if you would have bought this equivalent chicken at Whole Foods. And the last thing that I have in here is I got another bag of burgers. These are super quick and convenient. So 2 pounds of hamburger patties. These were $9, and at Whole Foods, if I were to get the equivalent, it would have been $16.98. So if I'm adding everything up, my total for ButcherBox this month was $300.18. And that's for all of our meat we're gonna eat this month. We do have some venison in the freezer, and we have a little bit of pork in the freezer, and we have eggs and things that we supplement with. But this will last us the month. If I were just to go up today and buy all of these things at Whole Foods, the cost would be $420.51. So you can see that I saved a whole lot of money. I saved $102.51. Now, I will encourage you to shop around because I do believe that you probably can find really good deals if you're a seeker and you really want to pay attention, especially if you live in a city and you have access to a lot of stores and you're close to them. However, for us, it does not make sense because for me to go up to Whole Foods, it would be a 2-hour car ride, and then we would probably have to eat out while we were up there because it would pretty much be the whole day, and then 2 hours back. That's gas. Then we're not checking in every week because that's just not realistic. So we're not getting all the sales. So this for convenience wins. This for cost wins for us. Now, like I said, if you don't care about having the super high quality things, there are cheaper places that you can buy your food, and that's totally fine. However, for us, this has been such a wonderful thing. So after 6 months, do we like it? Well, I think it's a good value for us, and I think it's our best choice right now for where we are. Do I think it's for everyone? No. If you have a lot of choices around you, I would 100% recommend you doing shopping around. However, if you are thinking about ButcherBox, this is the way to do it. Get the smallest possible subscription and then add those deals on as you go, and do pay attention throughout the month, because those deals refresh every few days, and that's the way that you can get some really incredible deals. We've been really pleased with the quality of the meat. It has taken a little bit to get used to, because when you go from full fat, grain-fed, grain-finished ribeye to the grass-fed, grass-finished ribeye, they taste different. It cooks different. There's less fat in it. So it took us a few months to get used to cooking with these cuts of meat, but we get better every month and we have delicious meals. So I just wanted to be sure that I gave y'all an update. I know a lot of y'all watched our first ButcherBox unboxing where we talked about it and we cooked some of it up, and we're probably wondering how it's going. So I wanted to give you an update. We still love ButcherBox. And one of the things I really love about it is the more self-sufficient we get on our homestead. Like right now, we're in the process of building up our meat bird flock. And so in the future, we probably won't need to buy our chickens. We probably will have chickens that are butchered, and we can shift some of those funds to other cuts of meat. So it's really great. It's really customizable. It's affordable when you use it the right way. If you have any questions about ButcherBox, leave them in the comments below and I will see if I can answer them. And if not, maybe figure out the answer. So, but we're happy to answer those, and hopefully this is helpful for you, especially those of you who live in rural areas that don't have a lot of choices, that don't have a lot of options, and are looking for ways to shift your eating away from just the super fatty cuts at Walmart. Thank y'all so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.